Welcome to week 7 of Bucks Weekly, the winter sports season. And before we get into talking about the basketball teams and wrestling, we're going to start things off with Covington Athletic Director Ashley Johnson, and she's going to explain the upcoming fundraiser, Coaches versus Cancer. So Ashley, could you talk about that a little bit?
This year, we are going to have a Coaches versus Cancer event. It's going to start next week, next Monday, January 15th. We've already put out pre-sale orders for t-shirts, and we'll have some extras. If anybody didn't get one, they can get them at the game. We are accepting donations, and starting next Monday, we're going to have an online auction of some sports-related and autographed items that's going to be online. And then Friday night, Saturday morning, we'll turn off the online portion, and then the final bids will be at the girls' game versus Newton and the boys' game versus Houston on the 20th.
And that's at our place, right?
Yes.
The game is. So can you talk about some of the auction items? I saw a list online, and a lot of things look really cool.
Some of the stuff we got, Blue Jackets, they donated a team-signed jersey. The Chicago Bulls donated a basketball that's signed by the entire team. We have Dick LeBeau signed an Ohio State replica helmet. The Chicago Bulls also donated some 4 tickets. They're 5th row behind the Bulls bench for Easter weekend. Pretty close seats. I think what else we have. We've got Coach K that signed a book. Luke Kennard signed a Pistons basketball. Got a lot of really neat stuff from people.
You don't have any Green Bay Packers sideline passes, do you?
I try the Green Bay Packers, and I got nowhere.
Well, okay. Look for more information on GoBucks.com and also on the Bucks Radio Facebook page. We will have a link from both areas to the online auction store where you can go and place your bids on a lot of the auction items. And we'll have that available to you on January 15th. Until then, come out and support the Coaches versus Cancer. The game is January 20th, and the Lady Bucks will play Newton that night, and the boys will play Houston. Up next, we will talk to Jim Meyer and the Lady Bucks basketball team.
Color Green Photo offers a variety of photographic options for high school seniors, weddings, and families. We pride ourselves in providing creative and captivating images that have a special meaning to those we shoot. Please visit colorgreenphoto.com to view samples of our work and contact us at 937-418-0417 to schedule your next photo session.
Welcome back to week 7 of Bucks Weekly with the winter sports season, and I'm with Covington Lady Bucks basketball coach Jim Meyer, and the girls are coming off of a hard-fought 43-35 win over at Milton, and that's a tough place to play, and also they beat us last year at our place.
Well, and that's kind of the motivation I used with the kids. We only lost 6 times last year, and 2 of those 6 were to Rushi. And the rest of the teams were teams that made it out to the regional, other than Milton. That was the one game I thought last year that we could have won, should have won, and we didn't. So the kids were, I think, kind of excited about trying to get some revenge and come away with a better feeling. And Milton's a good team. They don't have a winning record, but they are a very good team. And it was a battle, and they did some things to us defensively that we don't often see. And the kids handled it really well. It was a real good team win for us.
I wasn't able to make it to the game, but Rob Kaiser recovered it, and he was kind of keeping me filled in. He had mentioned that we'd struggled from the free throw line, but he also said that a good sign of what we were able to do is the fact that if we miss, Jordan Krell was at the other end of the floor getting a steal or pestering them defensively.
Well, yeah, and I thought about that on my way up here, just the little things, and we talk about doing little things right, and that's one example. Jordan really created some loose balls on the floor, and we had kids getting on the floor, and Jordan hit some big threes. They were playing a junk defense on Sammy that we don't often see, which we kind of knew was coming, but it's really hard to practice for. But Jordan hit big threes early. Lily and Lauren were much more active inside and on the boards. Tori's just Tori, playing the same usual steady, great game at both ends. And then Kenzie is just so athletic. Kenzie creates issues defensively and can get to the boards offensively. So everybody stepped up and did some really, really good things. And, I just felt afterwards it was a real good, what I would call team win. And then Sammy, of course, still got 19 with the defense that we're playing.
Well, and I noticed in the last 3 or 4 games in particular, you have brought up Morgan Lowe and Morgan Kimmel to get some quality varsity minutes, and they've really played well.
They have. It was one of those things early on, being sophomores, not having a lot of varsity experience. They practice with the varsity each night. I think the biggest thing, we keep going back to this, Sammy being injured for a couple games. That forced Morgan Lowe into the starting lineup. It was like, here you go, kid. You're a JV kid, now you're starting tonight. And she, that first game was, she was told 2 hours before the game, and I thought she performed really well, and I think that gave her a lot of confidence, and then that moved Morgan Kimmel into that first player off the bench. So any kind of experience those two can get benefit us as we head toward later in the year, because you just never know with foul trouble, you never know with injuries, and so yeah, they've played well.
Well, and you look at last year, the same thing happened with Mackenzie Long, and it come tournament time, and boy, she saved our bacon a few times in tournaments.
Yeah, and I think the more time they get, the more confidence they get, the more they relax, and they just we just tell them, do the things you do well. And I think they're figuring that out. They don't have to be superstars. They just got to come in and be a solid player.
Okay, and our next game is tomorrow night at Ansonia, and then we also got a game this weekend, and we have Sammy, only a junior, is approaching 1,000 career points, and hopefully she gets it here in the next couple of games.
Well, we're hoping here either tomorrow night at Ansonia or Saturday. We got Bethel at home, provided the weather holds out. That's going to be the night, one of those 2 games that she does it. It's really cool. I was looking back at the records. There's only been 6 girls, and and girls basketball hasn't been a thing since like the 74-75 season. So only 6 girls in the history of Covington to go over 1,000 points. So it's going to be an honor, obviously, for her and all the work that she puts in. But she didn't get 1,000 points without great teammates. And so this is going to be a team honor too, for kids to be able to say later on down the road, I was on the team with her, and I think it's going to be a cool time when she does hit it.
Well, what's special about it is she's only a junior and getting 1,000, possibly getting 1,000 here in the next couple games, but it's not like everything revolves around Sammy. I mean, she's probably up there in our assist totals, the rebound totals. So she shares the ball and very unselfish with the ball. It's not like she shoots all the time.
No, she's not a gunner by any means. She's going to take shots that are there for her, but she also makes great passes to her teammates. I thought there was a couple games where she passed up some shots that I wish she would have taken, but she loves the game of basketball. And her first thing is, what can I do to help my team win? And if it's assist and rebounds, she'll do that. If it's scoring, she'll do that. But yeah, I really believe she makes her teammates better.
Okay, so what do you look for from our next couple opponents here on the horizon?
Well, Ansonia they're relatively young. They are a very feisty team. They're the kind of team that's going to come out and get in our face defensively. They are going to get it up and down the floor. They're not going to run a whole lot of offense. They got a shot, it's going to go, or they're going to take it to the basket and try to draw a foul. Bethel has some really good size. They're going to come in with 2 kids over 6 feet. They like to press, they like to run. And if they get it going from the outside, they got some kids that can shoot the outside shot. If they get it going, that's going to be a problem for us. So it can be 2 really good, challenging cross-county games. Now, tomorrow night is at Ansonia, and then Saturday we're at home, provided weather.
Yeah, the weather doesn't look very promising, but hopefully we can get that one in.
I hope so.
Okay, well that concludes Lady Bucks basketball for week 7. Up next, we will talk to Matt Pond and the boys basketball team.
Hi, this is Don Solon, pastor at Fields of Grace Worship Center. We are a non-denominational church with a contemporary casual atmosphere. We are a church committed to reaching outside our walls while at the same time caring for those that call Fields of Grace home. Maybe you know Fields of Grace by all our community events. You are always welcome to come on over for a cup of coffee Sunday mornings and check us out at fieldsofgrace.org for service times.
Welcome back to Bucks Weekly, Week 7 of the winter sports season, and we're here with Covington boys basketball coach Matt Pond. And the Bucks are coming off of a frustrating loss last night over at National Trail. And Coach, it was we just couldn't get shots to go down.
No, dug a hole early, and again we had plenty of good looks. I thought from anywhere from 8 to 10 feet and in. I mean, you were there,
Mm-hmm.
and we got good looks. Executed our offense and didn't get the shots to drop. They've got a couple nice young players as well as a veteran post player, and they built a quick early lead and put us down. I think 33 to 15 and a half.
Mm-hmm. Well, basically in the first half, like you said, we really couldn't get much going, and it was almost 5 minutes before we could even score to start the game. And I can remember going back over to National Trail over the years, and it's for some reason it seems that in the basket where the stage is at is really hard, and a lot of our times our games we struggle with that and it's not just this year.
No, it is a unique shooting background. You know, you've got that open space as we do at our gym, and I think that's the beauty of of a home court advantage, so to speak. And we did. You're shooting into their crowd, their band, and for whatever reason, whether it be that or that's a different gym. I'm not making excuses. We just didn't get shots to fall, and I think we were down 8-0 before we finally scored, like you said, into that first quarter. And it really didn't get much better from there. And again, we were getting shots. We were trying to push the tempo so that we weren't actually setting up in our offense and trying to get some better looks. And I think we got looks, but we have to knock those shots down.
Okay, the last time we shot this poorly, I would say, was against Troy Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to that game, we had 6 or 7 days between games going into that contest. And the same thing last night at National Trail. The last time we played was January 2nd.
Right.
And a lot of times you think the kids want to play so they can shoot their way out of it.
I would agree. I would say, we're creatures of habit. You get in a rhythm as far as when you're playing, and having that Friday night cancellation certainly didn't help. I thought we had a couple good days of practice, good shoot around, and to have that happen was obviously disappointing, but something that we have to deal with, and we have to find ways to score. We've got some senior leaders there, and everybody needs to kind of buckle down and find a way to execute and make those shots drop. But I would say the layoff did not help us at all.
Okay, and then of course, we were trailing most of the game, or pretty much the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
And one sign that our kids, the competitive nature of our kids, is in the second half. We're down 20 or 30 points. I can't remember what it was, but there's a loose ball, and 3 or 4 kids are on the floor going for the loose ball.
Definitely, our kids are playing hard, and that's what makes it great to show up and coach these kids that we have here at Covington. And it's been that way for years. There's no quitting our kids, and a lot of teams, that's very frustrating, and it is for mine as well. But their effort was certainly there. I think you talk about the play you're talking about. The clock's winding down to end the game, and Andrew Cates is still up. The kid's on the floor, and we're playing. He gets a steal and lays a bucket in at the end of the game, and that's just going to help us build. And to see our kids continue to play that hard definitely gives us a lot of hope for the second half of the season.
Well, another positive too is you talk about Andrew Cates is a sophomore. You also had another sophomore, Clayton Machino, and Cates and Machino both played a significant amount of playing time in the second half, and they combined for 13 points in the second half.
Right. Yeah, they actually ended up being a third of our points, and it's kind of a tribute to everybody that was in. The kids were sharing the ball, and they were getting the ball to the open kid, and that happened to be Andrew and Clayton, and they made good decisions with it. You know, they attacked the basket, they were aggressive on the boards, and knocked down some shots for us. So it's, as we said earlier, that's great to see for the second half of the season.
Okay, so this Friday we host Miami East in another big league matchup, and then Saturday go over to New Bremen. Hopefully the weather doesn't look
Ah, come on now, don't jinx us.
Hopefully it's not going to end up getting delayed or anything.
Right.
But can you tell us a little bit about Miami East and New Bremen? What we look forward to this weekend?
Definitely, Miami's having another good year. I don't know that they have any one real star. They've just got a lot of good, solid players. They play the 1-2-2 zone, and they've done it for years. You know, Coach Mack's done that for years. They're very effective in it. Our kids will have to knock down shots. I think we will have the opportunity to get open shots. They're coming to our place, which is certainly positive. We've had some very good basketball games with them in the years that I've been here, and I expect that again from our kids. Turn around Saturday night, New Bremen at their place, which is a tough place to play, big gym, Mac school, they're always very aggressive, very hands-on, up in your face defense. We've been fortunate enough to beat them the last 2 years, but both games, one I believe was in overtime at their place, and last year I think we won by 10. They are better than they have been in the last year or two, very scrappy. A team that's going to play a lot of man and really get after you. So we'll have to be on our game this weekend.
Well, it'd be nice to finally get a game in our gym, because it seems like it's been forever
Yeah,
since we played in our gym.
yeah. And it's always nice to be home. We've got a great crowd here. And again, our kids do everything they can to keep people happy, you know, playing hard. And we've always had great support here. So we're looking for a little bit of a home court advantage there. And then we'll go on the road Saturday night.
Okay, so come out and support the Bucks Friday night. Hopefully they can find their way to shoot out of their shooting slump here against Miami East. And up next, we will talk to Eric Vanderhorst and the Covington wrestling team.
Hello, my name is Ron Sutherland, President of Covington Savings and Loan. We have been a part of the Covington and the surrounding community since 1886. We have been serving both savings and loan customers and help promoting home ownership. Stop by and talk with Jason for your lending needs, or see Diane in Brooklyn for all your savings needs. Thank you for your continued support to help Covington Savings and Loan continue to support the Covington community.
FDIC approved. This is Andy Johnson of Bucks Radio, the voice of Covington Buccaneers. Here to encourage Buccaneer fans to support local businesses. Your patronage of local businesses goes a long way in allowing them to continue to support Covington schools and Covington athletics.
We're back with Bucks Weekly, Week 7 of the winter sports season, and I'm with Covington coach Eric Vanderhorst. And the Bucks are coming off of a second place finish over at the Troy Invitational out of 14 teams. And coach, it's really neat when you see the two smallest schools at that invitational take first and second, and we were right there.
Right, yeah. No, Division III wrestling in our area is very tough, and you can see maybe 3 Division III schools there, and or 4 maybe out of the 14, and 3 of the top 14 schools were Division III, knocking off a bunch of Division I schools. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
And what it makes it even sweeter for us is, you know, we're very, very young, and pretty much our entire lineup really contributed.
Oh yeah. We filled 14 weight classes, and 10 of our 14 kids ended up placing there, which is awesome. And you know, we had one with an injury, and I think he might have placed if we, you know, played it safe and just pulled him out of the tournament. Kyle Bargy, I think he would have placed also.
Okay, can you talk about the kids that placed over there?
Yeah. Kellen Anderson had a great match that he lost earlier in the season against Shore from Miami East. That was a big win, won in the finals. And Kale had another kid who was going to see in the postseason from Coldwater, and he ended up getting a big win. So Kale and Kellen both got first. Gavin had a great tournament, battled to a third place finish, hitting a lot of great technique and being physical out there. Carrington, he had a really tough kid that knocked him out in the semifinals, but other than that, had a great tournament, finished up strong with third place. Let's see, Austin Flick, Trenton Alexander, and Hunter Clarkson all got 4th place for us. Taylon Viney got 5th, and let's see, Dylan Stout and Riley Richards, who was in a very tough weight class, got 6th place for us. So yeah, great team effort. We were battling Coldwater back and forth, you know, each round, and then kind of put a little gap in front of them in the finals. That was a fun performance.
And that tournament is always really good for us because, we're coming off of the holiday tournament over the break, and we get to start off the new year with that tournament. And there's always really good competition because St. Ed's or
St.
St.
Xavier.
They bring some kids up from their program.
Yeah,
So-
actually St. Xavier, that's their varsity team.
Yeah.
So yeah, and a lot of times they're battling for top 3, but they're down a little bit from past years. But they still have a couple really good individuals.
Okay, and tonight we were scheduled to wrestle Sydney, I believe, in a quad. I can't remember the other team we were scheduled to wrestle, but unfortunately that got postponed. Do you have a makeup date for that yet?
Yeah, not set in stone, but Sydney had a couple kids out. A number of our kids would have got forfeits, so we'll wait till Sydney's a little more healthy and then compete with them. So all of our kids get matches, but the first option is them joining Eaton. So February 3rd, that Saturday evening, they may join us during that meet. And if that doesn't work out, it might be the week before sectionals. It'll probably be one of those two to reschedule.
Okay, and then if weather holds out this weekend, our JV wrestlers get to go over to Ben Logan and wrestle.
Yeah, and actually I just heard on the phone on my way in, I think that's canceled because of the upcoming snow.
Because of the weather.
Yeah, unfortunately, but yeah.
So the next time our kids get to get on the mat is next week at Coldwater.
Yeah.
And that's always a really good duel for
Yeah,
us.
I'm trying to just found out today that Ben Logan has an opening in a double duel tomorrow. So I don't know if I can pull that off this quickly with the bus driver and everything, but if so, we might wrestle tomorrow.
Okay.
If not, it'll be Coldwater next week.
Okay. So what are you looking for the kids, coming up for improvement coming up the next time they hit the mat?
Yeah, we work today, setups for our takedowns, getting a little bit better at setups because our kids get pretty good when they get in on attacks, get in on the legs. They finish really well. We just got to set our shots up a little bit better, so we spent a lot of time on practice today doing that.
Okay. There will be some schedule changes, like Coach Vanderhorst said, with wrestling. So just stay posted to GoBucks.com, and you can click on the wrestling link, or you can go directly to BuccsWrestling.com to get all those updates. Up next, we will finish things up with junior wrestler Gavin McReynolds, who got third over at the Toy Invitational this past weekend.
Covington Eagles does a lot for this school and this program. We need to give them some thanks. On 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Go Eagles! Yeah!
Thank you, Covington Eagles! Thank you, Covington Eagles!
Thank you, Covington Eagles.
Thank you, Covington Eagles! Thank you, Covington Eagles, for all you do for Covington schools. Go Bucks!
We're back with week 7 of winter sports season of BuccsWeekly, and we're going to close things out with junior 182-pounder Gavin McReynolds, who is fresh off of a really quality effort over at the Toy Invitational, where he finished third. And Gavin, you're a 3-sport athlete. Let's begin with that. You play football, wrestling, and baseball. Can you talk about the 3 sports you participate in and how each sport helps the other?
Yeah, so wrestling really helps out with football a lot. Whenever like stamina and all the workouts that we do, it just get you motivated, get you moving for football, and also baseball comes along with it. Just throwing the ball just gets you hand-eye coordination, just get you moving out there instead of just laying around doing nothing.
Okay, so you've had a really good season to this point in your junior year, and can you talk about your season as a whole and where you are right now with your junior campaign?
Yeah, so right now, during this wrestling season, I haven't been doing the best. Yes, I've done decent at these last tournaments, but I feel like if I just keep working and motivated, then I could get more and more better and just place higher and do better at these tournaments coming up.
Okay, so what's your plan for the rest of the year? I know you've kind of had thoughts of maybe dropping down a weight class and maybe going down to 170. What are your thoughts going into the second half of the season?
Well, right now I'm not weighing the highest for the 182 weight class. There's people a lot heavier than me that I'm wrestling, and I'm starting to drop down a little more weight, and I feel like coming soon that I could probably get down to 170 for that weight class.
Okay, so what's your goals here for the rest of the season?
I my goal, I didn't make it out of sectionals last year, so my goal is to move forward to that and make it at least to districts, but try to get past districts and make it to state.
Okay, well, that's junior 182 pounder for right now, Gavin Reynolds. Hopefully by the end of the year he can accomplish that goal and get down to 170. For Ben Robinson and Gavin Reynolds, good night.
And go Bucks!